All right. How are the levels? How's the image quality? CPU usage is at 50%, which is a bit high. I don't think there's too much we can do about that. The music is also very loud in my headphones. I don't know why that is. As long as it's not drowning everything else out on the stream, it's pretty low. It should be good now. Okay, sorry. Welcome. Here we are. We're here. We're doing it. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Today's stream will eventually be about weird animation. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I feel like it's been a while. I've been away for a while. You know, you leave home. Not even leave home. Not as dramatic as that, but like wherever you happen to live. It's natural that there are certain places you used to go to, right? Certain places you used to hang out at, favorite restaurants, cool stores and parks and stuff. And whether you move to a different spot or you just, change your habits or your schedule, you don't go back. You don't go back as often. Every once in a while, you come back around. It was, oh yeah, I should go back there. I should give them a visit. I should see what they're up to. Just have a nice day out. And that is very much how I feel about this stuff. That's very much how I feel about really strange animation, where I love it to death. And especially like a number of years ago when I was first really getting into movies, it was really seeking stuff out and trying to get recommendations from lots of different sources. I was especially passionate, I guess, about weird animation, and I still am. It's just that I just haven't been back to it for a while, and instead have just been the animated stuff I tend to watch or have watched recently is really normal, above board, middle of the road, normie kind of stuff, if we could say it. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a bunch of recommendations from folks today, and then maybe at the same time I can offer some kinds of recommendations for other people if there are certain things that I've logged here on Letterboxd that people haven't checked out yet. So we'll see about that a little bit later on. As usual, it's very casual throughout these streams, but I'll also be starting out very low-key. We'll look at some bits of animation news. I don't think it's really a video game week, although there is plenty to talk about in terms of video game stuff. Specifically, the sort of surprising Power World situation, surprising for a number of different reasons. And I mean, hey, I'm happy to talk about that stuff too, if it comes up, or if some other folks are interested. But yeah, it's also, I even considered streaming that game, but I have no idea. I mean, for one thing, when I do stream games specifically, it seems that pretty much everybody, it seems most people tend to leave, or they're just not super interested, which is totally fair. I tend to get sucked in, or people are just overwhelmed with, choice. There's literally millions of other people, I'm sure, at this point streaming games, so it's not that big a deal. Anyway, so yeah. But yeah, mostly talk about animation stuff this week. And some good news for the channel, I guess, is just that I really do have some videos pretty close to being finished. I just feel it's been way too long. It's been way too long until since I've done something more in depth, something that wasn't just like a regular review. And I have a couple of those coming up that I'm pretty excited about. But yeah, anyway, so let's take a quick look. There's going to be a Bob the Builder movie. Is it too late? Not too late in the sense of like, whether or not the character will continue to have appeal for modern audiences, but just in terms of like I don't know. I was gonna say core fan base. I don't know if that even makes sense. I don't even know if that show has still been running. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's still going. Um, Maybe we'll look at that. I don't know. Right off the bat, it just sounds like an announcement. Nothing too much to dig into. Uh, Already looking at Leo 2. I still haven't watched Leo, to be honest. Well, for one thing, I lost my Netflix subscription a while ago, so that makes it much more difficult. Um, there you go. I don't know. Whatever. It was successful. That's enough reason, right? That's enough reason for any studio or streaming movie to be considered for a sequel. Like, it's not too surprising at all. Iran and Israel got their first ever animated short nominations. That's cool. That's great. I don't want to go into it yet again. But it's so tough to actually watch a lot of animated shorts nominees prior to the Oscars most years. So fingers crossed that these two films are accessible. But I'm guessing not. I'm gonna guess probably not. Okay. There's a trailer for Last Airbender. I might watch that. I mean, I can't have it on the screen, but I might watch that during this stream. I'm very interested, and to be honest, I'm not especially hopeful for the quality or execution of that one. I'm guessing a lot of people didn't even hear about it, but late last year as well, there was an Avatar game that came and went so fast because it was junk. It basically had zero marketing in the run up to release. It released, it reviewed poorly, and then it was gone. And it's so sad. It's so sad to see that property in particular. I'm just gonna say it's being mismanaged. I don't know. Like it's so strong, and even just the original series is so strong. Even Korra, it's a great series in its own right. There's plenty more you could do with that world, and they're just whoever's running that stuff. I don't know if it's still a Viacom property or what, but it's just not going anywhere. Also, hola, Tudes, welcome. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. I guess I should have said too. Sorry, it is Thursday. Usually stream on Wednesdays, and it's not typically a problem to keep up with that, you know. But Nickelodeon Avatar. I was looking at this headline here. I last minute, I there was like a business dinner yesterday, which I'm not used to at all, and I was kind of it was good. It was good. I'm not the best at social interaction stuff, but it was good. But that's all. It was yesterday at the time the stream would have been. So unfortunately, I had to push. I'm sorry for not giving more notice, but hopefully the diehards, the 5 or so diehards who come to the streams will forgive me for that. But yeah, Toots, the Nickelodeon Avatar. It's sorry, and it is confusing because we also had the Blue People Avatar game in December, right? Last month. Even that seems like a million years ago to me. But yes, I think Blue People Avatar game reviewed much better than the Nickelodeon Avatar game. It was just that poor Avatar game. I'm walking home, so I'm not really looking at the screen too much. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Here, I'll try to give us some better music then. Some good walking music. I don't like this song. Kind of nice. Sorry for the skips. Cool. All right. Yeah, no, I was actually explaining the whole weird Avatar situation to what should I say? I do some like language tutoring on the side, so I was talking to one of the student doesn't feel like the right word, but anyway, I was just saying like, oh yeah, hey, it'd be maybe you'd like to check out The Last Airbender, the original series. Like, it's actually really good. This person's into animation and stuff, so I thought, yeah, it's a great recommendation, and they had never seen it before. But But and then I immediately had to follow it up with, well, hey, if you Google Avatar, you have to be aware that you're also gonna get billions of results for the Blue People movies from James Cameron. So like just keep that in mind. Funny. Anyway, but yeah, I might watch that trailer while we're here on the stream just to see. I'm just so curious, but the little bits and pieces I have seen so far have not instilled me with very much hope. So yeah, there we have it. Okay, so look, oh, we finally got the Oscar nominees. Did we really? I did not see that at all. Yeah, I mean, I have to look, right? Let's take a look. Give me a list. Yeah, Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams. I'm honestly not familiar with. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. There you go. Okay. What else do we have here? Visual effects. I'm not quite as keen on that stuff. I just don't know enough about VFX, honestly. Okay. But yeah, the Spanish feature, Robot Dreams. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sure I saw a headline about it at some point during one of these streams. I do not remember it at all, and I haven't watched it. But hey, nomination. I've seen. No, I haven't seen Elemental yet either. Unfortunately, I need to do that. I keep saying that I need to do that. But yeah, I will watch Elemental, and hopefully, if Robot Dreams is made available somewhere for streaming, that would be great. In fact, let's just go ahead and. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Let's just go ahead and take a look in another tab. Robot Dreams. Anyway, how are you doing, Toots? How's it going? How's the weather out there? Did you get slammed with a bunch of snow or what? I know in most of the US, at least, it's been really, really, really cold and varying bits of snow and sleet and all that nasty stuff, so. Surprise animated nom. Why? Just because it's foreign, I'm guessing they think it's a surprise nomination. Maybe Mubi? Not available yet on streaming as of 2 days ago. Okay, so maybe some theatrical screenings? Well, especially here in LA, I guess there's a decent shot that they'll give us some theatrical screenings. That'd be fun. That would be really cool. Okay. Disappointingly, no animated films were nominated for any non-animation specific categories. It is disappointing. It's not surprising to me, I'll say, but yes, absolutely. And the article mentions that The Boy and the Heron seems to be head of the pack for the moment, having won the Golden Globe, which is a common indicator of, I don't know, more likely success at the Oscars. It's also the prestige release by a long shot, right? Like Across the Spider-Verse is obviously excellent. It is still a sequel. it loses some kind of edge there, and the first movie did win the Oscar. Nimona has absolutely been on the campaign trail, as they say. They have been going pretty hard with their FYC campaign here in town. I missed that screening. In one of the streams, I saw that there were tickets available for a screening, specifically for, as a 4-year consideration deal. Totally missed it. I definitely should have done it. But they've been doing a number of other events. They've been promoting articles and stuff. Like they really want to grab this one, or Netflix does, because I'm sure they're footing the bill for all that stuff. But yeah, I have a feeling that The Boy and the Heron might take it regardless, even if the voting members don't even bother watching it. They'll just say, "Oh yeah, oh, I know that name." Yes. Which is not to say that it's not a fantastic movie. I've talked about it twice by now, different videos, and no, it is a great movie, and I would not be upset at all if it wins. So there you have it. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna, yeah, I'm going to watch this trailer off screen here real quick. I'll probably have to mute the audio too, but I'm so curious about this. Toot says, I'm doing pretty good. My area gets warm winds during the winter called Chinooks. Oh, Chinooks? Okay. Which raise the temperature by 20 Celsius. So the weather is mild now. That sounds great. What's your opinion on the word skokum, dudes? Is does that mean anything to you? Tubes also says the cold snap last week was brutal. It almost got down to -40 before the wind chill. Oh boy, anyone who lives in a cold area knows how serious wind chill is. That is a major factor, especially if you're not all geared out for the weather. That can be incredibly nasty, and obviously causes other problems for conditions and roads and stuff like that and ice formation. But anyway. Well, hey, I'm glad that it's been warming up at least a little bit recently. My gosh, -40 Celsius. That's just wild. Oh my goodness. I was about to say I couldn't do it, but I don't know. Maybe I could still do a snowy area. It's been so long, you know? Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Real quick, I will mute the desktop audio here. And I'm going to watch this trailer. I can't even watch the trailer on the screen because I'll get nabbed for copyright. But then again, I mean, we're not... You know what? Let's do it because I'm not monetizing these streams anymore. So I think as long as they don't block the stream... even that's kind of risky. Yeah, because I think Netflix has blocked some stuff in the past. But for future reference, because I'm not monetizing, there's a chance that I could, do more of that. Toot says, giving the Oscar to anything other than Spider-Verse feels sacrilegious to me, unless they're saving it for the sequel. Oh, like the end of the trilogy. Sure. Totally possible. I mean, and yeah, no, I totally get that. And obviously, again, Spider-Verse is incredibly well executed and cohesive, and there's so many positive things to say about it. But yeah, the other noms definitely have their merits, especially Boy and the Heron. So it is still a discussion, but I understand that perspective definitely. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do mic only reaction to this trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Let's go with that from Netflix. Here we go. I mean, CG everything. We expected that, right? Uh-huh. It needs you, Aang. Oh, a blue sky beam, like all the superhero movies. Okay, yes. Is that Ba Sing Se? I don't think so. Oh, Sokka's... Never mind. I shouldn't say that. Oh, no. Oh, no. I like those drawings on the wall. Okay, we got Zuko. Got Iroh. I said it Iroh in a video a million years ago, and people were mad. Ew. Oh, even Momo looks a little... I'm also grimacing just... There's Ba Sing Se. I'm grimacing just a little bit because of the way the trailer is put together, too. It's not all just what I'm seeing. It's how it's assembled, the type of music, the sound effects they're layering on here are very stock. Like, it doesn't, it doesn't feel unique. Okay. Right. Okay. February 22nd. Okay. Well, sorry. Tooch says, let me put the music back on here. Tooch says, the animation alone makes it award worthy, even if the story isn't as deep or meaningful than as the other contenders. Really bungled that last comment. No, don't you worry. I mean, hey, you're walking too, you know? It's all right. I like how your footage makes it look like you're reacting to your own delusions. I mean, I kind of am. Or like reacting to the homepage of Kotska. Which I also want to look at briefly here because after Malcolm recommended it last week, it's fun. It's a fun site and a totally different vibe compared to Cartoon Brew for obvious reasons. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, just some quick, you know, right off the bat comments, I guess, on that trailer. Yeah, no, the reasons why I was sometimes saying like ooh or or oh no. For one thing, certain character designs and mostly non-human character designs. I'm not, I don't have a problem with like the costuming or like makeup of the human characters at all. I think they look pretty good. But another reason for that was some of the line delivery from a particular character was really not hitting for me. In a way, and I won't say, I won't say which character because I'm about to say something kind of mean. It wasn't hitting in a way where, it just sounded like bad acting. It just kind of sounded like bad acting to me. The line reads. So I'm a little worried about that. Honestly, we did not get a lot from Aang. We saw a lot of Aang. Aang did a lot of things. He did have a couple of lines, but it weirdly didn't seem like the focus. The trailer was absolutely trying to just give like, here is as much of the stuff that you know as we can shove into this short little trailer. Here's some key locations. Here's some key creatures. Here's fighting. By the way, some of the combat stuff, the various types of bending, actually looked decent to me. It's obviously a CG fest. I mean, how else would you? How else are you gonna do it? I'm totally on board with that when it comes to the combat. However, when it comes to most of the environments, and the art direction for, like I said, the CG creatures and stuff, Appa, Momo, etc. I'm not as on board. I just don't know. It does feel like it kind of feels like a continuation of that era of CG and live action adaptations that we had in like the very early 2010s. You know what I mean? So that's when we got like that weird Wizard of Oz prequel. That's actually not bad. And other things I can't even think of right now, where so much of it seemed influenced by Lord of the Rings. Particularly when it came to like, there has to be a big battle, there has to be like epic scale fights and crazy fantastical cities and all this stuff. That feels a little bit outdated now. I mean, arguably it maybe even felt outdated at the time. But it does feel kind of outdated to me now, and I just, at the same time, I don't know where else you go with it. Focus on more practical sets, but then you have so many outdoor environments at the same time. You don't want them to just be in a forest somewhere, and like the practical implications of shooting outdoors in crazy locations or on like a snowy mountain are completely insane. So I don't know. I'm trying to balance it out with realistic expectations for how it could have been approached, but unfortunately, so far, a lot of what I'm seeing for that just isn't really speaking to me. So yeah, there we have it. Toot says, I could picture the big blue sky beam perfectly, even though I haven't seen the trailer. Awesome. Here, let me see if I can get you a still. Where is it? Here we go. VFX heavy trailer is absolutely accurate. But yeah, I think we can do stills without getting dinged. So here's what I'll do. Maybe that was too much already. Here you go. Yeah, I should have been doing this the whole time. Look at this, even full screen. Why is it so low res? Okay. Okay, Katara. Where's the necklace? I can't see the necklace. Netflix logo. Fire Nation? I was like, that's not Toph. I don't know the insignia here. Here we are. The main trio on Appa. Don't worry, we'll see Appa hopefully in a little bit. There's Sokka with his interesting necklace, I guess. Iroh. We got Zuko. Again, yeah, you know, makeup and cos. I think it looks good. It looks fine. This particular frame, does it also look to you like a really terrible like green screen, blue screen set situation? Like just the relationship between our characters in the foreground. Something there's a separation there for me. Maybe I'm off base with that, but for this shot in particular, doesn't feel terribly natural. Or it's also weird lighting, I guess. And look how smooth his skin is. Even he kind of looks like a CG man. Sure he's not. There he is. Look at those watery eyes. My goodness. Okay. There's Appa. Okay, well. I mean, we are contending with motion blur. I'm not mad as blurry, but just again, I feel like the blue screen aspect is very apparent, more apparent than it's supposed to be, I guess. There's the necklace. Not the best freeze frame there for us. There you go. Gotta be Ba Sing Se, right? It looks neat. The design's really cool, you know. But yeah, it does look like just crazy CG heavy environments, and that's what it is, you know. What are you gonna do? Some bending stuff again. Yeah, I think the bending looks pretty good. There's our typeface. Here it's over like what, like burlap. Some kind of fabric material? I don't know. But I like these like brushstroke distress details. That's kind of nice. Anyway, that's what we got. Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland 2. That's thank you. Yes. Absolutely. Did they make 2 of those? Oh my gosh, did they make 2 of those movies? No, right? I think it was just 1. Either way, absolutely. The dance scene with Johnny Depp, and it's just like ugly gray backgrounds everywhere. Yeah, that's a great one to point out. But yeah, like it just, I don't know. I'll say I'm worried it doesn't look good. I'm not the authority, you know? I don't know. Anything else we need to grab here? Boop, 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 boop. There he goes. Whoa. I don't know. Any is that a ball of ice cream he has in his right hand? That looks like the bunny dongo for Monster Hunter. I mean, that also, you know. Yeah, it does look Kind of looks like a computer wallpaper, I guess, a little bit. And that's not necessarily in a bad way, but I do wonder where they shot, even just the footage for the exteriors. I haven't seen much like for behind the scenes so far. That's it. That's all we get without getting dinged. Toot says, I watched the Battle of Algiers yesterday. It's a very interesting movie that I get good, that I think couldn't get made today. Sorry. Genuinely think couldn't get made today. I do really appreciate, though, that Get Good was auto-corrected in your phone. Is that a reflection of how you tend to talk to people? Most CGI effects nowadays look significantly worse in stills and also on screens with high pixel density and direct backlighting like computer monitors. Fair enough. I don't remember the difference being so stark a decade ago, but I think I was still watching DVDs mostly. I mean, that's a very good point to bring up. And again, like I don't know enough about it. I can't confirm or deny or whatever. That makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, especially if I move this over to the OLED, it would probably look great. And based on Netflix's history of pretty strong support for Dolby Vision or just HDR in general, for the highest end at least of their subscription tiers. Yeah, I'm sure it will be HDR, and I'm sure it will look pretty good overall on a nice screen. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if I am getting hung up on some of the technical details. I think the most important thing by far is how our characters feel and how their chemistry feels. And that is obviously something that was 100% lacking from the Shyamalan movie from 2010. That was 14 years ago-ish. That's pretty wild in itself. If the characters work, I think it'll be easy enough to ignore or be less distracted by some of the other elements. But yeah, with any live action adaptation of an animated property, I get worried. Even in one of those shots where we just saw, like, there were just NPCs hanging around, Aang riding around on his ball, their ball, whatever it's actually called. I got worried even then. I was like, because when you're casting, sort of background characters and side characters, it's not always a big focus. I don't know. I'm worried, a little bit worried that it's just going to be like people who knew somebody, and that it's just, I don't know, corny. Anyway, sorry, spent much too long on that. Yeah, what do we got here? Coco. Bangjoy. This is a Chinese studio, is that right? Yeah, almost definitely. Wow. Just the image caught my eye, but unfortunately, my French is very rusty. Here we go. 17-minute Chinese indie animated short film. Okay. Less interested now. Yeah, Chinese animation, it's not something I've delved into very much, but some of the bigger projects, like what was it, Wish Dragon, really not for me. The stuff that Tencent has been involved with, or like that terrible Marmaduke movie with Pete Davidson from a few years ago. I'm very down on that stuff. I'm not, I'm pretty cynical about those kinds of productions. There's something here about Robin, which is that holiday short film from Aardman a while ago. There's a sequel. Okay, well, I'm guessing it'll just be another special, right? It's gotta be. I'm guessing Aardman's animation schedule or just production schedule is as tight as can be. Hey, Flip Notes, dude, how's it going? Welcome back. Let's see what I got here. Oh, sorry, I have to catch up a little bit. Yeah, and then, well, it's been long enough. I'll move into the weird animation talk in just a moment. Toot says I'm not cool enough to tell Scrubs to get good. I'm not a Soulsborne fan, and I hate their online communities. Fair enough. That's yeah. Don't worry, I wasn't too concerned about it. I just think it was funny that that was a get good. It was an autocorrect thing. The Battle of Algiers is about the anti-colonial insurgency by the FLN in Algeria in the 50s. It presents even their most extreme tactics, terrorism, I assume, without any condemnation or judgment. Okay, interesting. After 9/11, nobody would make a movie with that perspective on terrorism. Yeah, no, I mean that I'm guessing terrorism would have got modded too, right? Would have gotten auto modded. Interesting. Yeah, I have heard the name, of course. Haven't checked it out, but I'm glad you checked it out. We'll see. Is it animated or live action? Apologize if you mentioned already. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any. I haven't seen any like brand new releases for a little while now. Boy and the Heron was probably the most recent release that I actually saw. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Flip Notes Dude says, what do you feel about NSFW Lost Media? In general or for the stream, I'm not like against it. You know, certainly not. I guess it depends on on what exactly we're talking about. You know, in terms of animation stuff. Obviously, we've talked in the past about certain NSFW animated projects, in particular the Fritz the Cat, the first Fritz the Cat movie, anyway, right? So yeah, I'm not against it, and you know, it's a whole other area of animation or filmmaking in general that can sometimes be ignored, depending on how that content is approached and executed. So I'll say this: if you have a recommendation, it's you're welcome to give it, as long as the title isn't something so distressing that I couldn't really show it on the screen. And yeah, I won't be able to watch, you know, any of the recommendations right now. But yeah, feel free to recommend. And obviously, you know, anybody else watching, I tend to mark most of my videos and streams as like 18 plus. But hey, it's up to anybody watching. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can check it out. And if not, you know, it's totally fine. So there you go. A kind of waffling answer, but feel free to recommend basically whatever. And as long as it's not like, I don't know, distressingly like violent or hateful, that's the kind of stuff I would be more concerned about, I guess. And then yeah, something I'll try to do here is thankfully Letterboxd lets you sort by, well, apparently animation is a genre and not just a format or medium. So we can sort through here, and I'll try to see which of these would kind of qualify as weird animation. And a lot of them I'm sure I've just forgotten about for a while. Toot says the censor bot has punished me for much less spicy words, so I didn't want to take the chance. Totally get it. Yeah. And Toot also says it's live action. It was the first big budget movie made in Algeria. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. I'd like to check it out. The only somewhat controversial like war adjacent movie I can kind of think of for the controversial because of the way it portrayed the events or the perspective of the characters is Das Boot, the very famous German World War II movie from, I guess, the 80s. It's very long. But anyway, at the time, it was apparently controversial just because it portrayed Nazi soldiers as they were, you know, and it wasn't outwardly trying to paint them as the bad guys because they're basically in isolation. We're just on a submarine for the entire movie, pretty much. So... And I understand that perspective too, but it was fascinating to actually watch because it doesn't make you sympathetic for the Nazis, obviously, but it was one of the first times in a movie that I've seen anyway where you got like, oh, okay, they get to be humans too, though, like they get to be treated like people, which I also think does a good job of highlighting the fact that there were indeed, unfortunately, many Nazi soldiers who just they had no idea what they were actually supporting, or they were really coerced and manipulated into doing all these horrible things. Well, even just serving in the Nazi army is a horrible thing in its own right. Anyway, so I don't feel that it absolves anyone, and nor should it. But that was a connection I thought of, is trying to offer different perspectives of the events just on a literal level. Not necessarily in terms of trying to preach to the audience to believe one thing or the other, I guess. Okay, all right. So here we're just gonna dive in. I'm gonna start scanning through these. Obviously, I'm open to recommendations, so just go for it. Shout them out. If we have plenty of time, I could look some of them up again, as long as they're okay for the stream. I'll have another tab out here where I can do my little research, I guess. Okay. What do we got? So right off the bat, I'm not seeing a ton of, unfortunately, Strange World is not especially strange. I'm not going to include that. The Space Jam sequel is arguably strange, but it doesn't quite make the mark. What else do we have here? Okay, maybe The House. Just to get this going. The House stop motion horror short stories feature that was on Netflix, or released on Netflix a few years ago. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, also Tude says it was banned in France for nearly a decade because it showed French colonial police and soldiers getting shot. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, very intense, and especially when it's related to historical events. There are countries that'll just say, yeah, no, it's censored, you just can't show that stuff. Germany, too, I think, is very touchy about a similar material. Okay, what else do we have here? Should I zoom in? How does this look on the screen? Yeah, it's pretty... Aw. There we go. That's not too bad. Wolfwalkers, not quite, but certainly in terms of more mainstream and accessible animated features, it's close. It is a bit of a weirder one. Remember Sausage Party? Wow, what a time. Lou Over the Wall, maybe in terms of storytelling, but otherwise not very strange. Yeah, this is a lot of pretty accessible stuff, I think. My Life is a Zucchini? No, I think it's ultimately a very friendly film, although it does touch on more serious subject matter. Weirdness, I'm really thinking of execution, like, art direction, storytelling, that kind of stuff. So I would totally include Anomalisa. It's definitely a more, it's a pretty well-known movie, I think, in the animation community. It qualifies. Makes a cut. What else do we have here? Okay, you know what? Is the Man Who Is Tall happy? Sure. Yeah. I don't know which word should be capitalized. Even the cover art isn't too helpful. What else do we have? I do feel compelled to include It's Such a Beautiful Day. My thoughts have shifted on it through the years, but it is indeed weird. It's a very different approach in multiple ways. So yeah. And Bird Boy 2. Yeah. Obviously we've talked about it here on the channel a long time ago. It was recommended to me by someone here on the channel. So, but yeah, definitely a weird movie. It's a crazy one. Space Chimps, not quite. It's close. I will include Waltz with Bashir. It's a rotoscope movie. Haven't seen it in the longest time. Out of Iran, is it? Certainly the Middle East. But yeah, rotoscope movie other than Waking Life and Minority Report. Not Minority Report. It's another Philip K. Dick adaptation from Linklater. That other one that he did in rotoscope. I don't like how those movies look at all. I appreciate the creativity. I just don't think they look that great. Waltz with Bashir looks great. The art direction's fantastic. I think they really pulled it off with that one. And yeah, there's very little else out there like it. Dude says, I don't really have any weird animation recommendations. I already recommended Cyber 6 is from Israel. I'm sorry. Cyber 6 in a different stream, but it's only weird by the standards of a kid's show. Fair enough. And a Scanner Darkly. Thanks, Tudes. You're on it. I'll include Cyber 6 for sure. Scanner Darkly. Yes, that was the link. The other link later. Rotoscope movie. Cool. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool if you don't have other recommendations. I don't, I don't want to drag this on forever. So hopefully it can stay kind of interesting. But yeah, and as I said at the very start, it has been a while, even since I really, sought out some weird animation stuff. Idiots and Angels does make the cut too. Plimpton, is it Bill Plimpton? Yeah, his signature style. And I think this was maybe as close as he got to a feature. I don't remember how long it is, but it is a weird one, and I'm pretty sure no dialogue. I think no dialogue at all. Just, you have your music and your visuals, and that's it. Well, and sound effects, but kind of assume. Paprika. Have you guys seen Paprika? It's a pretty famous one. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. Should we do that? It's weird and it's not. I don't know. And it's obscure and it's not. It's on the fence of a lot of different things. I'll leave it there for now. But I'm, willing to hear arguments. I'm also kind of... I feel compelled to steer away from short films too, and maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like short films have a lot more room. They have a lot more freedom to be strange. And I didn't specifically say features, so yeah, why not? Why not include those? And absolutely the Triplets of Belleville, the Chaumet or Chaumet movie. It's so good. And not just weird because it's, some French film. It's weird. It's weird in how it looks every frame and how it plays out. Absolutely. Flipnose Dude says the lost media I'm looking for has to do with 9/11. Oh my gosh, it's the Plaza firefighter footage. Oh, okay, so you're just like searching for this stuff. Okay, yeah, no, I don't really know anything about that. Although I will say, like, well, this is going to be a very different tone. I was looking for almost lost media, not in terms of a media product. Well, what should I say? Not a piece of entertainment, but an object. For the longest time, I was looking for this device, and I had no idea what it was called, so it was very difficult to find. But what I'm getting to here is that Reddit, basically, Reddit and other forums, you'll be surprised just how many other people have looked for the exact same footage somewhere else or asked about it at some point. So that's been my best source for looking for different clues. So that's my only real advice, I guess, for trying to track that stuff down, something really specific. But yeah, so that's happened to me a couple times with old movies or shows, but yeah, it absolutely happened for this, which is an old MP3 player called the Play It Now. And basically, instead of loading up files, it has a little headphone jack deal. And you would just record whatever song you wanted from a radio or a CD player or something like that. And this was the same color way that I had it in, which I think is an insane combination. Anyway. But yeah, it was Reddit who helped me track it down because someone else had asked the same thing like 3 or 4 years ago. So that was kind of funny. Toot says, I watched an intensely disturbing animated short recently, funded by the National Film Board here in Canada, like many independent shorts. Oh yeah, don't worry, I know all about l'Office National du Film. Wow, that was bad. But I did a whole video about old NFB, ONF stuff a while ago. It was about plastic surgery. Okay, well, what's it called? Well, if you happen to know, sorry, if you know what it's called, let me know. But yeah, I like NFB. I like a lot of the stuff that they end up producing or funding or whatever. So I'll leave a space for now. Man, my typing today. Surgery. Geez, I can't remember the name, but it had a caterpillar cocoon motif. Okay. Let me see what I can find here. Caterpillar plasty. That sound about right? Here you go. I'm gonna guess this is correct. Okay, 2018, 5 minutes. And yeah, I'm guessing, I mean, a lot of their stuff is on YouTube too, so if it's not here in full, I'm sure I could watch it there. Manifold. Wow, I watched that a long time ago. Anyway, makes a cut. Even just that still on its own. Wow. Okay, cool. Nice. A good addition. Dinosaur, no. Magic pudding, no, not quite. Magic pudding is pretty charming. What else do we have here? My neighbors, the Yamadas, no. And I don't think I'll include any other Hertzfeld shorts. We got them covered already. I think we're okay there. Yeah, Slow Bob in the lower dimensions. So Slow Bob is a short. Maybe we needed a couple shorts of this character. But it's from Henry Selick, director of Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline, most notably. But he was a CalArts buddy with Tim Burton, I guess. I think they went to school together. And I don't remember if this was a project he did while he was in school or afterwards. It doesn't really matter. It's good either way. And yeah, crazy hybrid live action stop motion stuff. Really fascinating. It's a great watch, and it's pretty short. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and include The Thief and the Cobbler, which is a very famous unfinished animated film. There was a sort of bastardized version that was cobbled together, I guess, by Disney after the fact, but incredibly different from the original vision. It was Richard Williams, I think, right? Anyway, it's genuinely weird, even if it seems on the surface like it could have been a Disney adjacent kind of project. It's not. Also, I almost used the clip or a still from this movie for the thumbnail, but some of it I just couldn't. Certainly adult animation, I'll say that right off the bat. Talk about NSFW stuff. Yeah, I won't even stay on the synopsis for too long. It's really dark. I saw this in a theater once, not really knowing what it was. And that was a heck of an experience. That was really something. I'll leave it there for now. But it's weird enough to get onto the list for sure. Also, Everybody Rides the Carousel, I might have mentioned previously, from the Hubblies, who are doing some weird experimental animated projects after they got kicked out of Hollywood for accusations of being communists, I guess. So there's that. And you know what? I hate Fantastic Planet, but it's a weird one. I have to give it that. Toot says, do you ever watch Techmoan videos? He makes compulsively watchable videos about old audio video technology. Yeah, I absolutely do. I love Techmoan. He's done some great stuff. I watched one of the recent ones he did about that weird, like, plastic cartridge music system. I think it was out of Germany. Really wacky stuff. Cool designs, though, for the players themselves. Really neat. And I don't remember if he also did a video on the Library of Congress C1 tape player. I know some other, like, music and audio YouTubers have talked about it. I used to have one of those. It was so cool. But yeah, it's basically a tape player produced by the US government back in the 80s, I guess, 80s or 90s, for the blind, I think. And it was meant to be used in libraries and stuff in schools. But it's desirable now because it has some really weird reverse tape capabilities and variable speed controls and stuff. Anyway, but sorry, that just got me thinking about that Techmoan stuff. But yeah, Techmoan's done a ton of great videos. I actually, for a while, I wanted that little uh, mini pinball table thing that he did a video about. I thought it looked really cool. Uh, it would have been the wrong choice. But yeah, let's see what else we have here. Wallace and Gromit. I'm sorry, like the original shorts are really grungy. I wouldn't call them weird. I think they're just really lovable and fluffy and incredibly accessible. You know. Okay, heavy metal. Heavy metal or like the Wizards. Let's just go with heavy metal. Do I need to say anything more? Once again, NSFW, adult animation stuff. It's not good. I would not call that a good movie, really, at all. And here we are. This is the end. Oh my gosh. Those are all the animated movies I've ever seen? Well, it's all the ones that I've logged, I guess. Animal Farm, kind of. Kind of, but not really. Pokemon, the first movie? Wow. There might be an opportunity there, too. But yeah, lots of shorts in here. I don't tend to log shorts that I've watched. Yeah. And then yeah, no, I wanted to include some maybe I missed it. I wanted to include some Svankmajer Mayer. He's a Czech, I don't know if he's still alive, a very famous, well, at least in animation circles, a very famous stop motion animator from the Czech Republic. Fascinating library of work. He did an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland as well, and some other. Yeah, Little Otik is like a hybrid live-action stop-motion film. Anyway, I think one of his projects is what I pulled the thumbnail from here. But just fantastic. Jabberwocky is probably one of the highlights, I think, of his career. He also had a very big influence on Terry Gilliam's animation that he did for Monty Python. Just wonderful to watch. So if you can find any Svankmajer stuff, maybe on YouTube at this point we could find some. But it's wonderful. Wonderful, really creepy, a great sense of what makes like old toys creepy or like Victorian sensibilities. It's fantastic. Yeah. Let's see. Toots also says I bought a Direct Drive Walkman after watching one of his videos. Pretty much all of them have a cracked plastic gear, and the one I bought was labeled as repaired, but it wasn't. That sucks. Yeah, that just sucks. I totally get the appeal. I do have a portable tape player around here somewhere. I think it's an old Sony. Maybe not. Either way. It's tough. Yeah, and as Techmono, I think, has talked about in a number of videos, like, they will all go bad eventually. Like, there are just components in there that will fail. Whether it's, you know, some sort of belt or, yeah, cheaply made gears or whatever. They will fail eventually. So I got one that had variable speed control, which is a lot of fun. But, yeah, unfortunately, you can tell it's dying. The motors are dying. It's difficult to get replacement parts for a lot of those. So I guess what I'll say is, you know, if you're not too put off by that negative experience, and I hope you can get your money back from, you know, eBay or wherever it was, don't lose hope. Like, there are still pretty decent ones out there you could probably get for like 15-20 bucks, honestly, if it's not too desirable. But I think they're fun, and I do have some, you know, cassettes here and there, and I used to try to record stuff to cassette, which is really cheap to do. So yeah, there are opportunities, but that sucks. It sucks when it's all used stuff and you have no idea what you're actually going to get, what the quality is going to be like, or as you said, if they're even going to market it accurately. You know, if they say it's repaired, it's not. That's just false advertising. That's awful. Or even something like Over the Garden Wall. I don't think we can call it weird animation, honestly. Weird elements, but it doesn't quite cross the line for me. Moral Oral, I guess I haven't really been doing too many shows, but I absolutely think Moral Oral is weird animation. Very strange stuff. Also, There's one Blood Tea and Red String I'm adding. I don't know if it's still available for free on YouTube, but this is a stop motion animated movie, very much in the style of like Svankmajer, from director Christine Segovsk. Fairy Tale for Adults, they've called it. Very weird, kind of difficult to watch at times, but yes. And then there's one more I'm gonna try to find really quickly. I haven't watched it yet, but someone was talking about it online and it looks fantastic. Let's see what we got here. Does this have a list of the stuff that he talks about? No, of course it doesn't. I am looking at... I could just show it. I don't think they'll... interview with Ari Aster at Konbini, a French outfit. Anyway, they try to do a thing like the Criterion Closet, where they just have filmmakers and actors talk about movies. And he talked about a short film, not a short film, but a stop-motion animated film from some people that he ended up working with on his most recent movie. And it genuinely looks... yeah, pretty disturbing. Problem is, I don't remember where it was in the giant video. Here we go. Here we go. La Casa Lobo. Yep. Yep. What? House of the Wolf? Yes. Wolf House? Anyway, looks great. Looks real weird. Absolutely something I would like to check out, but again, with a lot of international stuff or things that just are lower budget, more obscure, it's tough. It's tough to get your hands on some of those. But yeah, look at this stuff. Like, what? What you doing? And why is it stop motion in particular? That seems to be the go-to for some of the strangest, you know, just the wildest and creepiest animation out there. It almost feels like a stereotype at this point, you know, that stop motion just naturally feels more unnerving, or maybe it's just the motion, I don't know. I will also include Shivering Truth. Did I make a video about that show? I probably did at some point. Again, show, not a movie. Wonderfully creepy, and of course, you know, weird animation doesn't have to be horror stuff. You know, I think that's too limiting. But a lot of it is. A lot of it happens to be, at least in my experience. And Mad God is another one. I think Ugo recommended that here on the channel a long time ago. But yeah, a Hollywood VFX artist, I think, or like model maker guy, was working on this movie for a very long time. And it's just intense, intricate stop motion horror, even like body horror stuff. It's just wild. I don't even know if it's feature length. And I think Shudder is one of the only places you can watch it. But yeah, it totally makes the list. But yeah, well, I don't know. Hey, if folks don't have too many recommendations, that's cool too. We could always follow this up the next time around. I think that would be fun too. But yeah, at least based on my letterbox, that's most of what I have at this point. So what I'd like to do now, just for a little bit, is take a look for Toots and see if we can find a decent tape player for not too much. Ideally, a vintage one. Any of the new stuff, even cheaper than some of the old stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you're looking for like to actually carry it around places or just have it at home. These were the kinds of ones I feel like we used to have in school all the time. So it's meant to be like a tabletop player, you know. But I love these latch switches for all the different controls. Those can be great. And yeah, I don't know, $20, not too bad. This looks sort of interesting. Sears says it's tested. Has the original packaging. That's fun. Sears is obviously not a great brand. Look at how cheap. Look at how cheap those headphones. Oh my gosh, that foam, it looks like it's decaying before our eyes. Right? I also need to see this. I'm sorry. I mean, hey, Tudes, if you're not interested, wow. This is in Malta, though. That's so cool. I guess it's not a specific character. It's just like, this is for kids. Look at that thing. Wow. I would love to see some of the controls and stuff. It looks, I don't know, it looks basic, but still. Toot says, I wanted to buy a recently published X-Files companion book. It's an in-universe collection of case files and other supplementary media, but I can't find a single place online that sells it in Canada. That sucks, especially because Canada famously has those. I don't know if it's the taxes or just extra charges for imports, exports, and stuff. Whenever I see something shipping from Canada, it 20 or $30 more expensive because of the shipping. So that sucks if you can't get it from somewhere in the country. That's terrible. Sounds neat though. I love in-universe materials and stuff. The one I'm thinking of right now is do I have it nearby? Probably not. The unofficial unauthorized autobiography of Lemony Snicket that they did for the series of unfortunate events stuff. So fun, just pretending like, oh, here's the real stuff. Here's lore. This is just thrown together, especially if it's presented in a cool way and published with, I don't know, authentic elements and things. That I think that'd be cool. So fingers crossed, because especially if it's some kind of limited edition, it's going to be really tough to get it later on. I assume people are just going to scalp it, Even this, let's check the prices. There's this limited promotional thing. Oh, wow. They made Wirt's tape from the show itself. This might not be it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, this doesn't look like it. It just looks like the soundtrack. But at some point, they made a cassette called Poetry and Clarinet, and it was supposed to be Wirt's in-universe tape that he recorded for Sarah, the girl that he's crushing on. But yeah, no, this is just the soundtrack, unfortunately. So that other one is long gone. that other tape, I'm sure, is very valuable now, unfortunately. Anyway, it used to be $50. I should have just gotten it was $50 on eBay. 1 minute left, Toots. Quick, impulse. No, this looks a little iffy. 0 bids. But yeah, $30 seems a bit high. And the photos aren't super helpful. Yeah, okay. Hertz only. That's like in the original packaging. That's kind of cool. 7-Up, the Uncola vintage stereo cassette player. $40. Panasonic had some decent stuff too. Maybe something like this would be worth it. I do like the look. That's kind of slick. That is. Yeah, it's hard to see. These aren't the best photos. Oof. At least it doesn't have like leaking battery acid on the inside. That can happen sometimes for sure. Yeah. But yeah, there's a bunch of these super junky, awful ones. $30, yeah, I feel like $30-$40 is really the high end for what I would want to pay. But I don't know. Toot says it seems like it's totally out of print in Canada. There's not a single used copy anywhere. Barnes & Noble carries it in the U.S. and they ship to Canada, but that specific book is one of the things they won't ship to Canada. Really? I'm invested now. I mean, this, this has turned into online window shopping, I guess. But let me take a look. What is it actually called? Is it this? Oh, this isn't even out yet. Would it be like volume 1? Yeah, let me know. Maybe we can maybe we could arrange something. If it's just, impossible for you to get there. This? No, this just seems like a book. Yeah. The official archives? This seems correct, right? Dude says, I found a seller who claims to have a copy, but they run a drop shipping scam. If they can't find a site that will send your location, they claim it's out of stock. Oh, really? I wonder if there's like a proxy service. I know there are proxy services for like getting stuff from Japan because a lot of sellers won't ship internationally, Oh, this is Kindle edition. Okay, well, here's my question, Toots. Is this it? Is this the one? Or is this just some other nonsense that I happen to come across? Oh, is it really done like, oh, that's your Zoom? Fully authorized, richly illustrated look. That's the one? Okay. All right. Well, Toots, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this. Um, but hey, I'd be happy to help out. As long as we can cover shipping stuff, I could maybe help out with that. Not something I would offer to every every chapter. I can buy the Kindle edition, but I want a physical copy. Okay, so you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Toots, just to see, because I totally understand. I've been in a similar situation in the past. I totally get it. Here's what I'm going to do. Give me 1 second here, and I'll probably wrap up soon anyway. By the way, so it'll be pretty quick. All right, Toots, do you have Are you on Discord? If you like, maybe we could have a chat on Discord and try to figure it out if you're cool with that. There are package forwarding services that will deliver to Canada, but they're quite expensive for a single item in my experience. Okay. All right. Well, let me check real quick. On Neon Flux. Thank you, Christian. Also, welcome back, Christian. It's been a while. Thanks, having a logo in the bottom right hand corner. Right click. Copy it. All right. I have a Discord account that I haven't used in a couple years. I can try to get into it again. Okay. Well, yeah, totally up to you. But in general, and I don't really mind, having this out on the stream. But apparently, this is still my username. So yeah, if you feel like chatting there, maybe we can figure it out. But totally cool if not. I'm still a stranger on the internet, But yeah, I sympathize with that situation. It can be really tough. Thanks. Apologies for derailing the stream. No, there's no derailing. I think we have a pretty good list. Also, I'm very hungry because I put off making dinner. But yeah, Christian, no, that's a great addition. Absolutely. Aeon Flux is so cool. The original animated shorts in particular are just so good. I guess it was part of Liquid Television originally. I think. It was a short on Liquid Television on... Sorry, the screen's still off. I apologize. Yeah, I think it started that way, and then it got greenlit for its own series. And then, of course, there was that live-action movie as well, which is not my favorite. I don't think I've ever watched all of the series, though. I've definitely seen plenty of those original shorts, and they're so cool. I don't even remember whether they had dialogue. It might have just been visuals only. But just great. Yeah. Super cool. Incredible art direction. It just doesn't look like pretty much anything else, It's just weird. It is genuinely weird. So it totally belongs on the list. But yeah. That's a good one. But yeah, let me know if you have any other recommendations, Christian, or things that someone else might want to check out. And but yeah, otherwise, unfortunately, I'll start to wrap up. It's a little bit of a shorter stream than usual, I suppose. This has been fun, and honestly, it's even fun to just look through some of the stuff that I've logged on Letterboxd. So yeah, kind of neat. And it's something I want to get back to. Like I said at the very start, I just it scratches a certain itch, just crazy art direction, just something that is entirely itself. I have a real affection for that kind of work, whether it's animation or anything else, really. So yeah, but this is a pretty good list. So hey, even if someone out there is just watching along or watching the archive, I do think this is an okay starter list if you're interested in trying out some weird animation, a range. And I hopefully did a decent job of mentioning when certain things were very much like adult animation or intense subject matter. Waltz with Bashir absolutely is really, really difficult subject matter. But other stuff here is just fun. Triplets of Belleville, just fun. Is the Man Who Is Tall happy, cerebral, but also very fun. The House, relatively easy to watch if you're okay with light horror, But and Mad God, also really intense, so maybe stay away from that if you have some trouble with things like that. But otherwise, really solid picks here, and I appreciate the recommendations from other folks. That's some great additions. Dude says, I remember a friend of mine spent hundreds of dollars to import a Japanese-only Wii game a while ago. A few months later, it was localized and released in North America. Oh, no. I will show you briefly here. I probably wouldn't use the proxy very often because it was kind of a tricky experience. But I did recently get Yoshi's Cookie complete in box for the Game Boy. I also got Revenge of the Gator. Well, at least that's the English title. One of my favorite Game Boy games, but the Western version is really expensive to get in the box. So this was a great pick for me anyway. But yeah, so I have used proxies here and there, but it is kind of a runaround, and you never quite know what kind of fees they're going to charge if you haven't used them before. So it's a whole thing. Anyway. But cool. All right. Well, if nobody has any other recommendations or other things they want to chat about real quick, then I guess I'll start to wrap up. But yeah, as usual, thank you so much for being here. Anyone who came out live, and of course, thank you to the folks watching the archive later on. I can still sense your presence to some degree. And hopefully next week will just be regular Wednesday stuff. Again, yeah, sorry, just something came up yesterday, so I wasn't able to do it. But I'll try to be better about giving more notice in advance. I don't want to be disrespectful, you know. Um, just surprising. Oh, sorry, no stream today. Dude says, how are you enjoying the Donkey Kong bingo game? You were close, sort of. It's Donkey Kong. I have the box right here. I got the entire Donkey Konga series. The third game was Japan only. And then this is bongo controllers, which are actually not too bad. It's delightful. It's just perfect, like early 2000s weirdness. And the song choices are also strange, mostly because they're from Japan, and I don't know a lot of them, but also video game music. But yeah, those games were developed by the team who develops the Taiko no Tatsujin games, which I loved to death. So it just felt like a fun thing, a bit of a splurge, of course, but loved it. Bongo, sorry. Oh, I should have figured it was a typo. I would also play a Donkey Kong bingo game, to be honest. Anyway, I don't know if that's even streamable. I guess not because of the music, but that would be fun. Who knows? Maybe Pal World next week, unless everybody just hates it to death by next week, and if my computer can't run it. But I think it would be kind of fun to stream Pal World for a little bit. So we'll see. But either way, I hope to be back next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, I think I already said my thank you, so we're all set. But yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for stopping by.